Okay guys, what is up? I am PDF TCG, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of my Fairtravel battle decks. Now I know most of you are thinking, what is that, PDF? What is Fairtravel Battle? It is a digital trading card game, fairly obviously here. It's currently in alpha. It's currently entirely free to play. You can play it on basically any device, Android, iPhone, tablet, PC, Mac. You can play it. Whatever you want to play it on, chances are you can play it. I think he's porting it to Toaster next week. You can play it. It's completely free to play. All of your cards are gotten from playing the game, so you don't have to worry about, you know, some guy that spent $200 and has every good card. I mean, I do, but that's just because I don't have a life. Okay, made myself feel bad. But yeah, the game is fairly solid. It does have some bugs. It's in alpha. That happens. Oh, that happens when you're in alpha. Balance is fairly good. There's some stuff I would change if I just, you know, had the keys to the game, but, you know, that's true for literally any trading card game, so that's fine. You can play pretty much what you want and feel like you at least have a solid chance. You know, there are decks that are better than others. If there weren't decks that were better than others, it would be kind of boring in my opinion. Anyway, balance, pretty good. And he takes criticism on that stuff. He's very good about taking criticism. I'll leave a link to the Discord and to download the game in the description, but you can join the Discord and be like, hey, this card's dumb, you should fix it. And not, you know, obviously he can't take every suggestion, but a lot of the times he'll be like, yeah, that makes sense. And a lot of the times the card will get tweaked or whatever. I have seen some of my suggestions like directly inputted into the game. So yeah, he's very good about taking suggestions. The gameplay in general is kind of Hearthstone-y. Please don't hurt me. It plays fairly like Hearthstone. The cards definitely kind of feel their own. It definitely feels like its own game, but it definitely has like kind of a Hearthstone feel to it. Overall, I don't think there's much more to say about like kind of just introducing y'all to the game, so I'm going to get into the cards really quick. I am hoping to get a battle video after this to kind of both to show off the deck and to explain how the game is played so y'all can better understand what's actually going on with all of these cards. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and hop into it. So our very first card is Thalari Mercenary. So Thalari Mercenary is a 1-cost creature, which is super low in this game. Turn 1 you can have 3, so just keep that in mind. It will go like turn 1 3, turn 2 4, turn 3 5. It's kind of weird in that way. So you start at 2, you can go up to 3 on turn 1, and then from there you'll go up a potential 1 each turn. You shuffle in a card from your hand to increase like your maximum resource, which you also get that turn. So this is a 3/1 for 1. 1 is absurdly low cost in this game. It's basically nothing. And it has Guardian. This is like the stat, like just the numbers on this card are ridiculous for the cost. And you have the upside of being able to pay additional resources, which we generally won't, but it is technically an option. It is a thing you could do, is you could pay more resources to increase its health. We generally won't. We generally just want to play it as a 1-cost creature, but you could if it's late game and you somehow haven't won and still feel like playing this deck. You could dump a bunch of resources in this just to kind of act as a resource dump. So our second card is Bloom. Bloom is not exciting. Destroy a permanent ability or equipment. It's pretty straightforward. I think a lot of the people currently playing this game aren't playing cards like this, and the thing is that I believe currently the best deck in the format is a equipment-based deck. It's black-blue, and I think the card that makes it broken is actually getting removed from the game. I can't confirm that, but I think the card that makes it broken is actually getting removed from the game. But it's equipment card, and if you don't have either Rust, Bloom, or just a car's something in blue, it can destroy equipment. If you don't have one of these, you just lose, basically. And if you do have it, you have a really good chance of winning, but if you don't have it and you're in that matchup, you just lose. Good thing with stuff like this in this game is, if you don't need it for that matchup, you can kind of shuffle it back in. So you can almost put like what would normally be sideboard cards into your main deck and just be like, well, I'm going to use it as my, to gain my resource for the turn. You're not down anything, but you're covering different matchups. Next card is Elemental Kin. So when you play it, you get to add a copy of it to your hand. Now, 2-cost 2/2 isn't great. You look for like 2-cost 2/2 with some kind of upside, which we do. We get another copy of it, but that makes it like card efficient instead of like tempo efficient, which is obviously what we want in an aggressive deck. The thing with this is that we can play it as a 2-cost 2/2. We got our Grizzly Bear, and then we get another copy of it to our hand. The thing is, you can shuffle in the copy for your resource for the turn. So we play this kind of to not go down on card advantage for playing a lot of little creatures in the early turn. A lot of the time what you want to do is you want to drop like a Thalari Mercenary and an Elemental Kin, and then you'll shuffle back in the Elemental Kin. So you've spent all 3 of your starting resources, you have 2 cards on the field, you have a total of 5 power, attack, whatever his name for the damaging stat. And you are, you've like almost drawn a card, is basically the way that it works out. So this is super good on turn 1. It's not great later. You can still play it and do the little trick where you shuffle it back in. One thing to know is you can draw like the token or whatever you want to call it, the copy. You can draw that, and it won't have this ability. So oftentimes you'll just shuffle it back in whenever you draw it. I don't particularly like to flood my deck with those tokens and stuff, so that's why there's only 2. You could run 3 or 4 and it wouldn't be awful. Lightning Bolt. I think this is actually a bit of a typo here. So it's 2 cost, deal 3 damage to a unit. I think that's a unit or player, unless he changed it recently. I could be lying. I'm pretty sure you can just zap their face with this thing. Rather efficient. Not even fairly efficient, it's rather efficient. To put it into like MTG terms, it's like in between Lightning Bolt and Shock, I'd say. It's like really solid. So we're playing 4 of them. A good way of finishing off the game is just zap your opponent's face until they fall over, after you've gotten in for a bunch of damage with your little creatures. We're running 4 Ragebringers. So, Party, this deals 2 damage to your hero. And it has above average stats. Like I said, we look for 2 cost 2/2 with upside, something along those lines. Is 2 cost 3/3, which is really, really big. But it zaps you for 2 when it comes into play. We don't care about that. We don't care about our life total. It's just bigger than average. It also gives us another solid 2-drop to play alongside a Mercenary turn 1. Charging Bloodhoof. It's a 3/2 with Swiftness. I'm not sure if it has Evasive anymore. I'm not sure, because one of these is wrong. Normally, like, the text boxes aren't this messed up. I think I might have chosen the 2 cards who have some kind of messed up text box. So the text box says Quickness, but off to the side it says Quickness and Evasive. I don't know which of those is correct. Honestly, Evasive isn't that big of a thing. It comes into play occasionally. Basically what this is a 3-cost Lightning Bolt. You're just gonna ram into something. That if you ram your opponent's face with it, ram your opponent's face. Sometimes you just get to hold on to it and you get to smack into something else for 3 as well. It's really solid. It's basically a Lightning Bolt with a body. What more could you ask for? Flame Burst. Deal 2 damage to each enemy follower. This is, like I said, you can kind of play cards that would normally be somewhat sideboardy. This is one of those cards where in a lot of matchups it just doesn't do anything. 2 damage to everything, and it's like, well, all of my stuff is bigger than that, it doesn't really hurt me all that bad. I don't have that many creatures in play. If you're playing against a token deck, which definitely exists, it's pretty good. If you're playing against an aggro deck, it's pretty good. If you're not playing against those and your opponent just has a bunch of big creatures, it doesn't do that much. But we play one because it kind of really hurts certain decks. Also, it can just kind of clear the way so that we can smack in with stuff. Nulari Outfitter, we're only playing one. Party give another friendly Lari +2/+2, so that puts its like stats at 5/5 for 4. It's pretty good. I might end up running 2 of these. The thing is, it only goes on Lari. It used to go on anything. Only goes on Lari, which really we only have this and then these two right here. I think those are our only, yeah, those are our only Lari. So we don't have a ton of targets for this thing, and it's not like super amazing in general, but it's good enough that sometimes you want it, and you could probably run 2. I wouldn't do more than 2, maybe 3 in this deck unless you just threw in a bunch more Lari to kind of make it work. The next card is Nulari Trapper, so it is a 4-cost 2/3, which isn't great. As I've stated before, we would be looking for like a 4/4 with upside. However, when it comes into play, you can destroy a follower with 3 or less that cost 3 or less resources, which is rather potent. Very, very good against, again, like mirror matches and stuff, but you're pretty much always going to have some kind of 3-cost or less follower in your deck, and this will hit it. So it's just a rather solid, like, you put a 2/3 on the board and you kill your opponent's card, and then maybe it trades with something or it damages something, and you just generally come out on top whenever you get to trigger this thing. Valari Brute. So this is a 4-cost 6/6. As I have explained before, this thing is big for its cost. It's a 4-cost 6/6, so it has like +2/+2, or like, considering it doesn't have a positive ability, it's like +1/+1, or like +1/+2 bigger than kind of what you would expect. It's not like super gigantic, but turn 2 play this thing is a serious threat for your opponent. Yeah, with all this, it has to have the downside, so it has bounty 2, so when it dies, an opponent gets that much treasure. Treasure you can destroy to either gain a resource for that turn, or you can destroy, I think it's 3, and you get to draw a card. So, playing this on turn 2 is really good. Playing this on turn 2, passing it to your opponent, and getting it destroyed on turn 3 is really bad. If they just like drop a removal card on this, you are in trouble. You're in trouble. Your turn 2 play was effectively give your opponent 2 mana, 2 resources. It's not really where you want to be, but this thing is just big enough. It's a big old boy, and you just play it because, yeah, sometimes it gets answered and it's bad, but other times it doesn't, and you just win because it's just big. Sometimes you just need a big burly boy. So kind of at the end of our curve here, we have Elemental Twins and 1 Aura Monk. So Elemental Twins says party. When it joins your party from your hand, summon a token copy of it. It costs 6 and gives you a total of 8/8. It's really big. Are we starting to notice a pattern here? It's big. This is good. We can hurt people with it. Aura Monk. Deal 1 damage to each other unit. Repeat this unless a unit dies or there are no other followers. So what this does, effectively, the text is a little bit confusing. So you play it, and it deals 1 to everything. And it checks to see if anything has died. If nothing's died, it deals 1 to everything. Has anything died? No, it deals 1 to everything. Has anything died yet? Yes. Okay. We're done doing damage. That's what it does. It says each other unit. Again, I think this is wrong. Unless he counts your face as a unit. Might not understand, like, the wording on things. It says deal 1 damage to each other unit. I do think that this is, like, mistyped or whatever. Because I'm pretty sure it deals damage to your face. So, you drop it into play. And it, you know, you play this when your opponent kind of stabilizes and they have like their 6/6 on the field or whatever. You're like, man, I can't beat that. You're like, oh, my opponent has 6 life, and then you drop it and it kills, wipes the board and puts them at dead. That's what this is in here for. Sometimes it just like deals 6 damage to your opponent's face, and we only run 1, so you know you're not going to see it that often. If you see it too early, or if you see it when it's not advantageous to play, when you have a bunch of stuff on your field that you don't want to blow up, you just shuffle it back in. So that's pretty well covers what this deck does. I think we're probably going to go ahead and hop into the game now. Oh, okay, so I did manage to get a game against a buddy of mine here. Let's see, we don't need 2 of these. This is good. Have another one. We'd kind of like a 2 cost here. Do we want... Do we want to keep you? We'll get rid of you because we really want to get like a... Well, I guess we don't need a 2 cost because we have 2 of these. Whatever. Okay, this is fine. We'd like to be able to spend all 3 of our mana on turn 1, and we... I mean, we could. We could play this instead. And just hold these for later. I don't know that I really want to do the... His ability plays tokens. I think we actually want to hold that. I think we're going to hold that, and we're going to hold this. We're going to... He doesn't have removal. We've got choices. I think we're going to ditch this. Okay. And we're going to drop this. Finish. Drop this. Finish. Hope he can't do anything about that. Options. Game seemed a little bit loud. I don't know how it's gonna come up in the video, but it was like rather loud for me, so we're just gonna do that real quick. So this is gonna be pretty good for us because we're not gonna have to like sack either of our guys to go in. So we're gonna do this, then we get to swing in for 6. Bam. 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 Okay. Not sure what that was about, but it did not want me to bam. So we can kind of use this to like swing into any of his little tokens that he makes, and he's going to heal for 2. So his deck is rather slow and controlling. I've played against this deck before, but I don't know that it's really going to have an answer to the beatdown that is currently happening. I'm not sure if we want to go up on resources. I don't even think I'm going to go up on resources until I see one of our 6 drops. I think I just want to keep as much gas in my hand as I can. Obviously, I'm up 10 life, but he's got this, which is a bit of a problem. What you got? What you got? Okay. So he's green, blue. Waiting for the... Oh, okay. Okay, so he's going to try and whittle this down. If he kills that, it's a bit of an issue. play another one, hope he can't do anything about all of this. I think this is probably game. I don't think... Like, he doesn't have a big board wipe or anything. I think the game is probably over. Ow. Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably game. Bloom doesn't do anything for us. We'll shuffle that in. I think we can just burn him out now without even having to swing. Ah, we don't have quite enough. Go here. And then swing in. And that's game. Yeah, I think his deck is just a little bit too slow to be able to really deal with like a proper aggro deck. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you watched all the way through, this was probably kind of a long video. I think like the first bit was like 15 minutes or something, so fairly long video. But thanks for watching. As I said, you can download the game or join the Discord server or add me on Discord in the description. So thanks for watching. Y'all have a nice day and peace.